For my appetizer, I decided to make French onion soup. So I started with peeling the onion and cutting it. Then I had to saute the onions and caramelize them. To do this, I had to melt this butter into a pan. And then I began to add 2 pieces of frozen garlic and let it all melt together. Once it was melted, I started to add the onions so they could cook. I had to add all of them, that way I would have enough for the whole soup. I had to stir them for a while so they wouldn't burn, but then I let them rest and cook until they became a light brown. While the onions were cooking, I got this powder and I mixed it with the boiling water, which is coming. There we go. And then I added that to the onions once they were done cooking. I had to stir this a little bit, but then after that you just have to let it simmer and cook. Now it's done. So I poured a little bit of it into the bowl and I cut up some bread, put it in, added the cheese, and put it in the oven. As soon as it comes out of the oven, you let it cool and it's ready to be served. I think she liked it. For my entree, I'm making coq au vin, which is basically chicken with wine. So first I weighed it to see how much I had and then defrosted it. Now I'm cutting it into 2 pieces for my mom and my sister. Then I pour the oil into the pan so it doesn't stick. Make it go all the way around the pan. Then I place the chicken into the pan. I season it and then I just let it cook. After a while, you have to flip it on the other side and continue to let it cook. Then I add my vegetables, which is basically onions, tomato, and mushroom. Continue to let it cook, and then after that you're going to add your stock and your red wine. After that, stir it a little bit, make sure it's all mixed together, and then you're going to let it cook. While my chicken is cooking, I decided to start on my salad. It's just regular lettuce with the beets that I'm currently cutting up. And then I place the beets around the plate to try and make it look fancy. After that, I add blue cheese dressing. I go back to my chicken, which is now done cooking. I just put a piece of chicken on the plate and pour the sauce around it, and it's ready to serve. Now it's time to bring out the salad I made earlier. For my dessert, I'm making creme brulee. First, I have to add the cream into the pan and heat it up until it's hot. When that is done, I'm going to pour it into a bowl and add sugar. I will then stir it so the sugar mixes in with the cream. Then it needs 1 egg, but the yolk only. So before I put it in, I have to separate the yolk and the whites. After that, I put the yolk in and stir it all together. Then you can't just put creme brulee into the oven by itself, so you have to put some water in the dish underneath, and then I place it in the oven and I wait. I have blue cheese and I cut it up and put it on a plate and serve it to my sister. Now I take it out of the oven and let it cool, and it's ready to serve. This was definitely my favorite part of the whole project. I got to wash out